is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Eric Gordon getting that 4-year extension with the Houston Rockets. He was a part that people thought would be moved coming into the summer because they continue to fail to beat the Warriors. And at the end of the day, they haven't been able to get to the NBA Finals. Eric Gordon was a guy that I told you will be good, and he will be able to resurrect his career and win Sixth Man of the Year. And he did all those things with that I said when he signed his contract a couple years ago. And on top of that, he has really been a great complimentary player to James Harden, Chris Paul, and even playing some three and being a more improved shooter. And he's been a lot healthier, which I think that's the most important thing. The last 3 years that he played with the Rockets, he played 75, 69, and 68 games, which is better than the 45, 42, 9 game, 56 games, 62 games. And that's the thing that really hurt his career, was that he could never get going, could never get comfortable. And when he came to Houston, he had a reduced role, and they didn't really need him to do as much scoring and as much ball handling because they already had James Harden. And then they was able to add Chris Paul, which even lessened his ability to handle the ball. And the less you drive and the less you get knocked around, the more healthier you can be. And this is a guy that has played with the Houston Rockets that shot 37, 35, and 36% from three, and he's shooting 8 attempts a game. That's a high, huge volume, and they needed it too sometimes just to space out that floor and really give James Harden that room to work and get his isolation in, whether it was in the post or even at the top of the key like it's been the last couple of years. Not only that, Eric Gordon is giving you solid contribution in the minutes that he played, playing 31 minutes a game in Houston, giving you around 16 points a game, 17 if you want to add it up and round it. But he has gave them a lot of fearlessness, a lot of aggressiveness. He has really been a great addition to this team. I was a little surprised that they gave him this much money, if I have to be honest, because they just paid Clint Capella. Russell Westbrook is on an enormous contract, and so is James Harden. And this is basically what you have. I do think Eric Gordon will be tradable. I don't think this contract is going to be a move that's going to stop them from getting to where they're trying to go unless he do get a significant injury, which he has had in his career. But playing with Russell and James Harden, he's mostly going to play off the ball and feed off them. And he gives them a guy that they can rely on in the fourth quarter. He can create shots for other people when needed. And he is a guy that can get to the free throw line when he wants to. I think the only problem with Eric Gordon, I feel like he relied a little bit too much on a three-point shot. When you look at his Pelicans days and before that, he was a guy that can handle the ball, get to the paint, and really slice up the defense, and he was able to score a little bit more off the dribble. I feel like the only problem with Eric Gordon, in my personal opinion, was that he settled a little bit too much with the outside shot and even taking it to even further by shooting the ball further out. Sometimes he's shooting 27 to 30 feet, and I thought it was a little ridiculous. Even though he does hit some, he does go on cold streaks because he do shoot the ball so far from the rim that that's a tough shot. And even if they're going to give you the room, it's a shot that a lot of people can't make at a good enough clip to warrant you taking those shots. So he has done that, and he is a guy that you have to respect because he can get hot and he can catch fire, and he is a essential part of this team. When you think of the success of the Rockets, Eric Gordon has been a huge part of that, whether it's him starting or coming off the bench. And even when you look at his 3 seasons with the Rockets, he started 15 games, 30 games, and 53 games. So he's a big part of their bench, and he's a big part of that identity. And you're going to have somebody, you're going to need somebody that can really balance out that offense. And even if somebody goes down like Russell or James Harden, if they miss 2 to 3 weeks, you still know that you can plug Eric Gordon into either that 1 or 2 spot. He can really complement either one of those players. and that just gives them a guy that's very high commodity right now. And I think he got a lot left in the tank. I said that even when he got injured, people kind of got mad at me for saying that he's washed up, he's trash, he's not worth the money. And 3 years later, he's getting even more money. And he has really proven that he can play at this level still and still be a solid contributor and somebody that you can rely upon. And I knew it because I knew he could hoop. I knew he was a hooper, and I knew he loved the game. And the injuries wasn't going to stop him. And they didn't, because he's here right now getting an extension, and he's still getting an extension with the same team that people thought they was crazy for giving him that type of money because he was always beat up, injured, and toe up. But he ended up earning a contract. He ended up earning his money, and I really want to see how this Houston team is going to play this year because with Russ, it just give you a different dynamic and a different type of playing style because him and Chris Paul play differently, and Chris Paul is a better off the ball player than Russ is. But I think Russ and James Harden really want this to happen, and they really going to try to go hard this year. I think the Rockets are a team that a lot of people ain't talking about because of the Lakers, because of the Clippers, because of Portland and Denver, and rightfully so, because a lot of those teams have the chemistry and have the stars, or they have better players than James Harden and Russell, and that's why the people are putting them over them. But the Rockets are going to be scary because they still can knock down those threes, they still can get up and down, they still have James Harden, who has been a two-time scoring champion, has averaged 30 points the last 2 years. So they're going to be a team that's offensively, they're going to run you out the gym. They're going to get up and down. They're going to get to the paint. They're going to get to the free throw line. They're going to shoot a bunch of threes. And it's going to be even worse because Russell fits a lot of this perfectly when he's surrounded by shooters. And we've seen in Oklahoma City that he can never really get those shooters when he needed them. You can say that Paul George and Carmelo was supposed to give him that, but it didn't really happen. It didn't really work out the way that everybody thought that it worked out on paper. And that happens. But this one thing I can say is Mike D'Antoni hasn't changed, and he has adjusted and has made small little adjustments throughout his NBA career, especially with this Rockets team. And you see Russell Westbrook, a guy that can really be a one-man offense. And you can say the same thing about James Harden. And I think that with them being brothers and them growing up together, they're going to be very determined to prove a lot of people wrong, and they're going to be very determined to win a title. Is they going to do it? That's how everybody thinks, but these guys are very high confident guys. I know James Harden for years. I know Russell Westbrook for years, and they're competitors. They really love to get better. They do love playing, and they do love going out there having fun while embarrassing their opponents. These are guys that celebrate and get really enthusiastic once they're knocking down big plays and shots. And these are guys that can both handle that ball handling duty and make everybody else get easy shots, especially in that pick and roll with Clint Capella, with Russ. And then you have James Harden that can really get to the free throw line, get to the paint, get floaters, get threes. He put the defense at his mercy when he's focused and locked in. And once he got that mentality, that is over. And when he gets that, it's tough. But Eric Gordon gives them another guy that can have that same type of energy and that same type of play style on a lower level. But I think this is a good move for the Rockets. I was a little surprised about the money, but this is what I want to say about the money before I end the video is it's not that big of a deal because what people didn't know when the deal got struck at first, that the final year of this extension is worth $20 million, but it's non-guaranteed unless the Rockets win an NBA title or he makes an All-Star team, which is a good joke, but that $20 million not being guaranteed makes this contract a lot less. And 75 million extension is pretty good for 4 years. But when you look at it, he can lose a lot of money depending on how it go. And Eric Gordon is getting older, so he might not be a $20 million player then. But right now he's only 30. He's going to be 31. And right now you want to have him committed and get this out of the way so that way you can just focus on basketball and playing with your teammates. But I think Daryl Morey knows what he's doing. He was a guy that gave Chris Paul the extension. Everybody went crazy, and Chris Paul has been traded already. So people kept saying that Chris Paul was on the worst contract, and he's the second worst contract in the NBA, and he traded that for Russell Westbrook, which a lot of people feel like is an upgrade over Chris Paul. So that just shows you how smart Daryl Morey is, and he knows what to do, and he knows the contract. This is a guy that put a lot of people on two-way contract. This is a guy that put a lot of guys on non-guaranteed contracts or a guarantee in the first year or getting them, even like the P.J. Tuckers, giving them deals that's fair for both sides. And I think this is a deal that's fair for the Rockets. If he's not what you think he's going to be, or you need the cap to make another move or to open up the cap, this gives them that flexibility as he gets older. So, in my opinion, this is a deal that Eric Gordon should be happy about, getting guaranteed years. And, you know, if he gets injured, he still got a couple more years on no contract and when the money is guaranteed. And also, if he doesn't work out or he gets older, or he looks a little washed, or you need the cap space, you can always let him go at the end of the contract and just use it on somebody else, or try to make another move, or use him as an aspiring contract that can be waived, that you can get another piece for, maybe just as good as Eric Gordon, because we don't know how good he's going to be in that last year. Or, you know, you can just find somebody else in that free agency period when his contract comes completely off the books, if you do decide to opt it in. So I think this is a good deal. I'm not really too crazy over, not really hating it. I just feel like Eric Gordon is a guy that everybody knows can play. Everybody has respect for. Everybody that loves the game, know what he can do on the court. And that's why I said that stuff a couple years ago. I know what he's capable of. I know how he plays, and I know it does translate. And it has came to fruition, just like I told you guys on that breakdown. And when he signed the deal years ago, and he has proven everything I said to be right. But then again, a lot of people gave up on him. A lot of people gonna go crazy when they see the numbers. But when you look at the contract and how it's structured, and you look at Daryl Morey knowing how to move contracts and knowing that he got flexibility as he gets older, and it can become a non-guaranteed contract, and that can be a contract that can be valuable years from now, when other teams are looking to rebuild, or other teams are looking for another piece, or other teams are looking for just to take some picks in return. And that's something that Daryl Morey will have the option. Either way, it works out for the Rockets because he still can play. He fits perfect with James Harden. He knows the system. He knows what they do, and he fits right in with what they do. So it makes sense even when you look at it from a basketball fit, because he's been there for 3 years and he's been one of the biggest parts of this team and why they're successful. And he is a good guy that can give you double-digit points off the bench consistently, because he has done that mostly for the last 3 years. So let me know what you guys think. Is this overpay, underpay? Do you think this was stupid? Do you think the Rockets made the right deal? Do you think that's good, showing them loyalty? Do you think it's good to just get it done now and just focus on what they can do in the regular season? Or do you think that this is a deal that they're going to regret 2 to 3 years from now? Or do you think that, you know, Eric Gordon is an injury away from being the old Eric Gordon? Whatever you feel, I'll read every comment. Let me know in the comment section below. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies. I break down players. I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.